Did you know that a single Harari man, religious leader, and warrior of the Adal Empire defeated Ethiopian armies and even a Portuguese expedition? He played a pivotal role in preserving Islam in the Horn of Africa and expanding its influence into new territories. In the 1300s, much of the Horn of Africa was ruled by the Sultanate of Ifat. Throughout its history, Ifat was locked in fierce rivalry with the Christian Kingdom of Ethiopia over control of the East African port cities and the Red Sea trade routes. Eventually, this rivalry erupted into full-scale war. For a time, the Sultanate of Ifat was on the losing side. The Ethiopians pushed deep into Muslim territory, sacking cities and conquering much of the land. By 1403, the Ethiopian army was pursuing the Sultan of Ifat himself. Forced to retreat, he fled to the city of Zila at the edge of his kingdom, preparing for a last stand. His army had been shattered, and only a handful of soldiers remained by his side. The Ethiopians besieged Zila, hurling stones with catapults and battering its walls until they finally broke through. The city was sacked, and the Sultan was killed. Ifat was destroyed. Yet in the chaos, the Sultan's sons managed to escape across the Red Sea and found refuge at the royal court of the King of Yemen. There they waited, biding their time. In 1415, Sabir ad-Din III, the eldest son, returned with his brothers. They rallied tribes, forged alliances, and rebuilt the kingdom under a new name, the Adal Sultanate. Within just 12 years, Ifat had been reborn. Ethiopia quickly struck back with an army of 20,000 men, but Sabir ad-Din and his brothers were prepared. They defeated the invasion and restored Adal's strength. The Sultanate of Adal was now firmly back on the map. War with Ethiopia raged for the next century. Emperors and sultans on both sides were slain, cities were captured and lost, and the struggle seemed endless. Then, in 1516, a new player entered the conflict. The Portuguese arrived, attacking Zila and burning it to the ground. At the same time, the Ethiopians sacked the city of Dakar. Though uncoordinated, the two Christian powers soon realized they could destroy Adal together and divide the Horn of Africa. Inside Adal, this sparked bitter division. One faction from Dakar favored peace, even submission, while the Harari faction insisted on resistance. They warned that failure to fight back meant future generations would be forced to convert to Christianity, ending Islam's presence in the Horn. The internal conflict was so intense that within just a few years, 6 sultans rose and fell in succession. By 1520, the Dakar faction seized control, killing the Harari ruler and uniting the cities under one banner. But one man from Harar refused to accept defeat. His name was Ahmed ibn Ibrahim al-Ghazi, better known as Ahmed Gurey, Ahmed the Left-Handed. With fewer than 100 men, Ahmed fled Adal. The Sultan sent an army after him, but Gurey repelled the attack and forced his pursuers to retreat. Knowing he could not yet win, he withdrew into exile to rebuild his strength. When Ethiopia learned of him, they too sent an army. But Ahmed Gurey outsmarted them. Dividing his forces into 3 groups, he ambushed the Ethiopians from all sides and crushed them. This victory brought him fame, followers, and spoils of war. Somali tribes soon joined him, and with a growing army, he seized Harar and became Sultan of Adal. Around the same time, the Ottomans, who had just taken control of Egypt, sought to block Portuguese influence in the Red Sea. Since Portugal was allied with Ethiopia, the Ottomans threw their support behind Adal, supplying Ahmed Gurey with cannons, firearms, and soldiers. In 1529, Ahmed launched a massive invasion of Ethiopia, nearly collapsing the kingdom. At its height, his campaign brought 3/4 of Ethiopia under Muslim control. Zealous in spreading Islam, he personally taught the Quran to new converts and established mosques in occupied regions. He fought battle after battle against the Ethiopian-Portuguese alliance, achieving one of his greatest victories in 1542 at the Battle of Wafla, where Cristóvão da Gama, son of the famed explorer Vasco da Gama, was captured and executed. Out of the Portuguese contingent, only 120 soldiers escaped. After his victory at Wafla, Ahmed Gure seemed unstoppable. His forces dominated the Horn of Africa, and Ethiopia was on the verge of collapse. Yet his success also attracted stronger resistance. The Portuguese, unwilling to lose their foothold in the region, sent reinforcements from India. In 1543, a new Portuguese expedition landed in Ethiopia, bringing with them muskets, cannons, and fresh soldiers to rally the remnants of the Ethiopian army. That same year, Ahmed Gure marched north to meet them at the Battle of Wainadaga. Initially, his forces held firm, but the superior firepower of the Portuguese musketeers turned the tide. In the chaos of battle, Ahmed Gure was struck down and killed. His army, shocked and leaderless, crumbled. With Imam Ahmad's death, the momentum of the Adal Sultanate collapsed for the time being. Ethiopia, though scarred and weakened, managed to recover much of its lost territory. The Ottomans, facing greater challenges elsewhere, reduced their support, exposing Adal vulnerable to both internal strife and external enemies. Yet his legacy paved the way for future leaders such as Amir Nur and Bati del Wambara, who carried his mission forward. Ahmed Gure's impact, however, was undeniable. In less than 2 decades, he reshaped the Horn of Africa. He nearly destroyed one of Africa's oldest Christian kingdoms, united diverse Muslim tribes under a common cause, and drew the attention of global powers. With Portugal intervening for its own interests and the Ottoman Empire stepping in to defend the prosperity of Islam in East Africa. To Muslims in the region, he became a symbol of resistance and faith, remembered as Imam Ahmad ibn Ibrahim al-Ghazi, the conqueror of Abyssinia. To Ethiopians, he was remembered as a fearsome invader who brought devastation, but also became part of their national story of survival. Ahmed Gure's legacy still echoes today, in Harar, Somalia, and beyond. He is remembered as a hero who stood against overwhelming odds, defended Islam in the Horn of Africa, and carved his name into history as one of the greatest military commanders of the 16th century.